Hey everybody, so welcome to our next podcast where we're talking and celebrate mothers. And we have the distinct honor of having Mr. Turner and his mom here. So I'm going to let Mr. Turner introduce himself and then introduce his mom.
Uh,
Don't act shy now.
Hello, everybody. I am Mr. Turner, the technology coordinator here at Michelle Clark. Uh, this is my beautiful mother, Michelle Allen. You know, very. She's a lot. She's everything. Uh, very caring, very loving, trustworthy. Yeah, so we're gonna dive deeper into that.
Okay, okay. So welcome. So please go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us all about anything you want to tell us right now.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'm Michelle Allen, and thank you, Ryan, for that wonderful introduction. It just touched my heart so much. I am his mother. I'm Ryan's mom. I am honored to be Ryan's mom. He's a wonderful young man, and I'm just honored to be here, to be celebrated, answer any questions. Our relationship and pertaining to the
Mm-hmm.
love of a mother and a son. Yeah, so thank you so much for this
No,
opportunity.
seriously, thank you for being here because I'm so excited. And I remember saying to Turner, "Hey, we gotta get your mom. We got you." And he was kind of like a little hesitant at first. I don't know why, but let's just dig in for a little bit on this. So, hey, Turner, when you look at your mom, I know you gave us a bunch of adjectives and stuff. What are some things that you feel like this is something I really never said or have not said enough to her that I wish I have? I wish I can say now.
A few adjectives, like I said, loving, caring, hardworking.
But I said some things that maybe you haven't said to her, or you feel like, I don't say this enough, or maybe I don't.
I'm getting
You
there.
getting there?
I'm getting
Okay,
there. I'm
okay. Then
getting there.
let me let you keep cranking till you get there.
You know, outgoing. Uh, Man, so much. Uh, like my mother is like even like within the family, like even she's the person you go to, for
Hmm.
anything. She is. You can always count on her. Uh, she gonna make it happen with anything, with the smallest thing. She gonna make it happen, like even if it seems like something that can't be done. She gonna make it happen. And she's just an amazing individual, a God fearing woman. Yeah.
Okay. So now we get to the part where I said something that you would like to say to her that maybe you haven't said enough, or and don't use the "I love you" because everybody uses that, right? But like even something that you're like, I just don't say this enough, or I don't like maybe you don't say all what you just said enough, right? Or do you
Uh,
think you said enough?
no, I mean, I don't say what I just said often, but I do love you, and I appreciate all that you've done for me. Like, I'm not who I am today without you, 100%.
So what makes us not say that enough, even though we always say life is short?
Uh,
We just take it for granted that she knows, or
I wouldn't say that. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's like how you go through life with a person
mm-hmm.
every day, and like some things just don't go without said.
Because it's understood.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that cool? Like, is that cool? Like sometimes that we do things in life and we're kind of like, well, they knew, or they know. I don't need to tell them again. Or do you like? Women are different than men in that case. So I'm asking you now, mom. Like, do you think like you need to hear it more, or do you think like, oh, I know he does?
Well, just like you said, we are kind of built differently. So we need both. We
Mm-hmm.
we need the verbal, and we also need the actual action of it. So it depends on the situation. I think of that day. Like Ryan and I, we're pretty much. I can say that we're a really good close of a son and a mother.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of we respect each other, and we say I love you every day.
Okay.
And we're very a touching,
Mm-hmm.
family. We love hugs because hugs is really that's a security,
Mm-hmm.
even as two adults. So I think that you do as a woman. It's just because we're built differently, because a woman does kind of need that validation
Yeah.
in wording, just because of our heart. We do so like Ryan said. I'm someone that's gonna make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of turn a couple of vegetables into a whole bowl of soup. A pot of a pot, and feed the block. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that I can do. And so, yes, I know that you appreciate it, but if you can say it sometimes, not that I need it,
Right.
but it does feel good. It makes you
Mm-hmm.
feel like, okay, you receive my love gesture.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
words does for a woman,
Mm-hmm. Well, I
not
think for guys too, we
yeah,
like
for
to hear
guys
it.
too.
We
Yeah.
like to hear it, but sometimes we play it off like we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But when we hear it, we probably go in the back room and be like, "Yeah, I did that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I showed up right." That type of thing. So
Yeah.
I think that still makes a difference. When you look over there at Ryan, what do you see?
Oh gosh, what I see my heart. I see um my my love. I see my dedication. I see my life.
Mm-hmm.
I see the consistency of who I am. I just when I look at Ryan, I see so much empathy
Yeah.
that I poured into him, and then I see him poured into the community.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at Ryan, I see strength, I see liberation, I see courage, I see loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
I
Wow,
see
that's
a
powerful.
leader.
Yeah.
So when I look at Ryan, I see those things, and I'm saying that it's because I've seen it. He's been consistent,
Mm-hmm.
since walking, since talking, since going to pick up his report card, introduce myself to his teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been consistent, even as adult. He's been consistent in those words, and so he still can melt my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Is your
still.
mom like the Kool-Aid mom?
What's that?
Oh my God, you just made me feel old. You don't know what the Kool-Aid mom
You
is?
stay showing your age, man.
The Kool-Aid mom is like there's always the block, right? And then there's a house that everybody goes to because they know you can get Kool-Aid
Oh
or,
yeah, yeah,
or the candy or we always call it the Kool-Aid mom.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm the Kool-Aid mom.
Right. But how does that make because you're only child basically, right?
Yeah.
On your mom's. So how do you feel about sharing your mom?
I don't really never feel no type of way like when other people embrace her or nothing like that. Like it'd be cool because they might need that or they might not be
Mhm.
getting that, outside of wherever we are. So like I just allow her to do her thing. That's her.
Yeah. And you just look at it and just kind of and like, do you ever look at your mom like in awe, like, wow.
Yeah. Cause somebody always gravitating towards my mom, so it's like I just
I remember like one of the first times me and your mom were talking, and we were at the car, and you had laughing. You was like, "Y'all still talking? What y'all talking about?" And I was like, "Uh oh, Ryan upset." Remember?
yeah.
And I was
do.
like, "He don't like to share his mama."
We were at a flag football game.
Yeah, and I was like, "You don't like to share your mama."
I mean, after a while, it's like, okay, cool, come on.
And where does that come from?
Uh,
Because would you consider yourself spoiled, or?
I'm an only child, so
But all only children aren't spoiled. Well, only child is not spoiled.
I feel like I don't look at myself as spoiled. Probably like spoiled with like love and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But like I don't know.
So, I've always wondered this about only children, right? Or only child. Do you ever, when you were younger, did you feel like, don't bring another baby here? It's just supposed to be us.
No.
You would have been okay if there was another brother or sister that came in.
Yeah.
Okay. Which would you have wanted, brother or sister?
It wouldn't matter.
Because you would just love him regardless.
Yeah, I guess. But it didn't happen.
So let's talk about Turner as a young buck.
Okay.
So I guess we can go back almost like when you were about 10, 5, 10. What sparkles did you see for him? Like that you were like, this boy gonna do this.
The sparkles I saw in him, his memory,
Mm-hmm.
especially science.
Yeah.
So science was a big deal in our home. Science projects. We would really put a lot of effort into it. Put in a lot of effort into the board making and cards and stuff. So, but also because he had to do the presentation with the science, so he would do it at home. I would be his audience, and so he wouldn't look at the board. We would make the board, and he would have the cards, and the board would be. I mean, you would see the whole step, the photosynthesis, everything to the making of what the science project is, and he never would just look at the board.
He just kept looking at it.
He just kept looking and speaking.
Yeah.
So I said his memory is immaculate, because and then so that part is his memory, and then his comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
So the comprehension is really what took in. I've been fascinated with raising Ryan. I can't
That's
really.
a good word.
I've
like
really
that.
been so fascinated with raising Ryan because he hasn't been difficult.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a difficult child. Like he really wasn't. Not that he was difficult one time.
One time.
I'll never forget this. We was like, can I say this? Can I
Yes.
tell this? Okay. So we was in Burlington. And Ryan had to be about 3 or 5 years, 5. Okay, we'll go there.
Okay.
And so he didn't want to get in the cart. I was okay with that. So we walking around. I'm just browsing and everything. And so for a little bit, I was, hide and seek with Ryan, just a little bit. But he never. So this time, Ryan, and he, for about 3 minutes, he wouldn't say anything. I couldn't find him.
Oh my God.
So he's laughing, and I'm like, and my voice changed. So he knew my voice changed in like, okay, where are you? It wasn't happy anymore. And he was hiding right where I couldn't find. But I'm thinking at the time, you're gone or something.
Yeah.
So
That's a mother's worst nightmare.
So I said, okay, now this time we're gonna stop. He didn't want to stop. I said, no, we're gonna stop playing. He didn't want to stop. So Ryan fell out in the store.
Oh,
that was his first and last time falling out, though. so that's thing. So he was good to adjust quickly.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about my blessedness and luckiness with him, because he was able to adjust to discipline.
Wow.
Yeah, he was
Did you
able.
know that you were a good kid?
Man, I can count on my hand how many times I got, a whooping. So I wasn't too bad.
Oh Lord. So hey, Turner, like growing up, like I always have these things. Like even when I went away to college, when I moved out, when I came back, all this, there would be certain things that my mom would have either said to me or have done that. There are times that I'm like, oh my God, I hear her talking to me, or I just did what my mama said. Talk to me about that.
It's always something in my mind, and like it's derived from my grandmother, and my mom just kept it going. And it's don't take no wooden nickels.
Okay.
And so essentially, that's like
I'm glad you said it, because if I had to say it, you'd be like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Because you always try to act like I'm so old. But go ahead, tell me what it means.
Yeah,
then.
don't take no wooden nickels because you can't spend them. It's like, like don't take no BS or like, like just always be like present in whatever situation you're in. Like don't let nobody run over you. Speak up for yourself. Things like that.
So do you find yourself like using that advice like more, or Like as you're getting older, do you feel like you're using it more, or you kind of just got it where it's settled with you?
As I get older, I find myself using it more because, you know, I'm young, but like I'm getting older and I look younger than I am. So people, they tend to try to, walk over. But I just, I simply won't allow that. So yeah, I find myself using it more now.
This is different for you being on this side of the camera, isn't it?
It's so weird.
Tell me more about that,
Like,
because I can see you like, you look like you ready to jump and get back over there any moment
man,
now.
like
Two things. You look like you ready to jump and get over there, and you're like, let's stop talking about my mama.
Okay, so one thing, I'm a very personal person,
Yes.
and so like, you know me, so it's like y'all know me, so it's like I rather do cool things behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
rather than in the spotlight or just seen.
So I'll help you, because we do try to keep these to 15 minutes. What advice would you give a young man in getting along or making a path with his mom? And then we're going to turn the question and say, what advice would you give a mom that's struggling maybe to have a relationship with their son?
I would say listen to your mom. You know, cause 9 times out of 10, if they telling you something, it's to help you in the long run, or like even if you don't fully like do exactly what she say, just keep that in the back of your mind. So when you do come to whatever situation she was trying to give advice about, you can say like, "Oh yeah, my mom told me about that," or or anything like that. The another thing, show your mom some love. Give your mom some grace. And I find myself, doing that in my life, cause you know, your parent is 9 times out of 10 not raising you how they were raised,
Mm-hmm.
and so you don't know what they experienced growing up, so you don't know. So this is a learning experience for them as well, and yeah. So just give your mom and your parents some grace.
Good. Thank you, sir. You need me to redo my question again for you?
I don't. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, if you got it.
I don't have it because
So-
I'm just a little emotional from his response. But just ask me again.
So, what kind of advice would you give to a parent who's trying to maybe rebuild or build, or about to have a son? Like, what advice would you give them?
Piggyback for what Ryan just said. Listen to your child.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they get of age to talk and walk. Listen to who they are, and be patient with yourself. And put a lot of love into it,
Mm-hmm.
and be consistent. When I say consistent, be consistent with dinner time. Be consistent with hugs. Be consistent with structure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very, very important, because then when you build in structure and try your best, it wasn't easy for me, because like Ryan said, I didn't grow up the way Ryan was raised in his household. It was totally different, but I decided to be a mother. And so I was able to put that aside and say, okay, I wanted to break a generational curse and be able to pour something different where it can grow and Ryan can be an asset to the community. So I would say the consistency is very important. Make sure you have a support group, a good mom support group, whether if it's older moms, because that's what I did. I did not just send Ryan to school. I did after school programs. So if you want better for your child, you really have to work really, really hard at it. And a lot of love and patience with your child, and listen to your child. Don't just say, okay, you have to do this, because that may not be for your child. But introduce your child to whatever's offered at the school, and be involved. Don't just drop your child off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be able to, I was able to heal myself like that too. If I'm involved, because I wasn't raised with involvement.
Yeah.
So by me being involved,
That's good.
it healed me. I was able to be a child and being a mother at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of me just stressing myself out,
Right.
I was really enjoying being a parent,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew that I was understanding toward how I was raised. It was different.
Yeah.
And so and I was able to heal and also forgive in those things, and try not to, this is very important, I think, Miss Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
try not to what you put your trauma on your child.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very important.
Yeah, please don't do that. I always say, if you have, always ask your child to forgive you. You don't always have to yell.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always have to spank. Make sure that you set a healthy environment for your child. And then that's when you'll be able to reap the benefit, to say you checked all the boxes
Yeah.
in raising your child.
Yeah. Did you think these many years later, since people think he's still young, we won't say his age, these many years later that you would look over there and still have, because when y'all look at each other, you can tell there's like mom and son love when y'all look at, did y'all know that? Like y'all just get this, he get this like, yeah, all right, right. And you just burst out into the hugest smile. Every time I see you look at him, you burst out to the hugest smile. You really do. Yeah, yeah. To the point that sometimes I'll be like, are you drugging your mom? Because she keeps smiling. No, but.
If you've seen our journey,
Yeah.
and if you knew I think because of the adversary that I've overcome in such a way, and I get to witness, I'm not
All your hard work.
all the hard work, all the love. Love is so much powerful than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see the smile on my face, I really am genuine to this, because Ryan did what I asked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
gave you what you needed.
He gave me what I needed. He still gives me what I needed, what I need. And then I'm smiling because there are people that love my son and
Yeah.
to respect my son. Even if in a long jeopardy, he's gonna have a community of people that see him how I see him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm happy, and that's why I smile. Because first of all, he's handsome. He's handsome.
A mother's supposed to say that, right?
He is
My mom used to
handsome.
say, I ain't had no ugly kids. And I was like, you don't see these other kids. She was like, none of them are ugly. So, parents are supposed to say that.
My baby fine. He is handsome, and he's a charmer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so all of those things, I blush because it's a gift.
Yeah.
I enjoy being a mother. I would enjoy someone else's child.
Yeah.
I'm somebody that can see the goodness in people,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to be able to pour it into you. So, yeah.
Turner, in final words, tell me what you heard, what you think. You just heard a lot right there.
I did.
Take out the part that she said you were fine, but let's go to the other pieces.
I don't even have a haircut right now.
But that's because she see the good in what you look like with a haircut.
Yeah.
But what did you hear in all of that your mom said?
She said a lot about love, and that's important. And I feel like a lot of people like throw that word out,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not followed with actions. I feel like that needs to be followed with actions in order for somebody to actually feel it, and that's something I have felt throughout my life.
Mm-hmm. Super. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for taking out your time to be
Yes,
here.
my
You just don't
honor.
know how much. I think you're such an inspiration. I really do. And then this child of yours, it's so funny to me that some kids see him as like a pops already, and uncle and big brother and things like that. So I appreciate you guys taking the time. And so once again, another spotlight on mothers, and all set up for Mother's Day. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Stay tuned for more.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
You're so funny.
It's over. This was so fun.
What you got to say?
This was absolutely. You're good at this, Mr. Anderson.
I don't think so. I
You
tell
are
Turner all the
so
time,
good.
like when it's time to do one, I'll be like, Turner, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what I'm doing. Turner, we should get somebody who don't mind doing this.
You
know,
just
like
flow.
you gotta do it. Don't you? You always tell me I gotta do it, and I'll be like, no.
Like I will do this again.